tonight's life is going to be like quick, as in quick. I have a very serious schedule tonight, but we're going to get to it all the same, like we normally do. We're going to get right to it. Give me a second. Let me get into airplane mode there so I don't get some distraction while on this. Yeah. All right. So, protests in Abuja. Kanu's lawyer and brother, they've been thrown into Kuje Prison. In case you don't know, the court has thrown them as ordered that they should be remanded in Kuje Prison. And yesterday, man, Abuja scatter, protest everywhere, and now the activists everywhere is red on the internet. Uh, Kanu's lawyer and even his own brother, they don't land for Kuje Prison on top of this matter. They don't land for Kuje Prison on top of this matter, or say make them free Nnamdi Kanu, make government free him, since the court, maybe not outright freedom, but since courts don't say make them grant and bail, or there's something like, there's an order like that from one of the judges that maybe should be released on bail or for medical treatment. Say make them release him, even if he's still going to go for back for his trials, but he can do that as a responsible citizen. But government they fear, say this guy we they know, as he take vamoose for in Papa House that time. You guys remember that time with them and try to catch him. Nobody know how Kanu take vamoose that time. So maybe that's why government they fear. Say, if we release this guy for bail, if he vamoose again, I remember the strategy way then take even catch him. So I'm not defending the government, but now we're just looking at the situation as it they hot. We're breaking it all down. What really happened, what the police said, what's the force PPRO saying, what Amnesty International saying, what are they shouting, and what does this mean for the legal system and the judiciary of Nigeria, and for every Nigerian who have raised their voice. So making a welcome viewers. Drop wherever you're watching from, whether it's live, whether it's later on, wherever you're watching from. Can you drop it? Are you watching from Lagos? Are you watching from Enugu? Are you watching from Port Harcourt? Let us know where you are watching from tonight. I would like to know in this live. My name is Rashid. This is Stadium TV. So now, today, this one will be just political gist. Now, things where they actually affect the region, the eastern region, and is affecting the whole of Nigeria too. It's about a man that has come to become a powerful player in eastern politics, someone that has become a highly influential individual, even from behind bars, by the name of Nnamdi Kanu. And, this one today, we're going to be talking from the angle of power, justice, and how protest they play out in Nigeria. Protest, every citizen has a right for a peaceful protest, but how is it accepted in Nigeria? You can comment on this hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu now, hashtag Abuja protest, hashtag Kuje Prison, hashtag Nigerian news. We're gonna get right into it. So now let's look at the background, how the drama started, how this whole drama started. On 20th of October, 2025, that's Monday, this last Monday, a group of activists and IPOB sympathizers led by Omoyele Shuere, Barrister Alo Ejimako, who happens to be Kanu's lawyer, and Prince Emmanuel Kanu, Kanu's brother, gathered in Abuja to protest that the government should release Nnamdi Kanu. Now, the protest was part of the Free Nnamdi Kanu Now campaign, demanding that Kanu should be released, that the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, that's the full meaning of IPOB, in case you don't know, indigenous people of Biafra, that the leader, their main leader should be released from, that spent so many years on this court case and in detention and all. So while the rally progressed, there was reports that the police arrived and they fired tear gas and made multiple arrests. While the rally was on, peaceful rally, the police came in and, fired tear gas and all that. Now, I'm going to quote some verified statements. Police officers in Abuja used tear gas. Yes, that's verified. The police officers arrested dozens of protesters who were demanding the release of Nnamdi Kanu. That's also verified by Reuters and AP News. So now, then saying a peaceful protest, but before you feel say Biafra or Nigeria, tear gas don't full air. Abuja turned to a small war zone. I mean, you should see some of the videos that have been trending all day today and all that. So you see like once something is a peaceful protest and the government does not agree with the values or the fundamentals of that protest, they have a right to shut it down by force, with bullets. You know, that's what I'm looking at tonight. Like, hey, so are we saying that once the government does not agree with the mindset behind any protest? Let me say, for example, now it's a peaceful protest, but I'm protesting that uh, primary school should be free. So if the government does not agree with that elementary school should be free, they have a right to forcefully, using legal means, shut it down. You know, that's something that calls for concern. Because if it's a peaceful protest, why are you shutting it down? It's a protest. Like, we want this, we want this, so we want this. We don't want this, so we don't want this. They're not taking power from you. It's not a coup. It's not a coup. So it's a bit of a concern for me that people cannot express their desires or their views through a protest, which is a fundamental right, constitutionally accepted fundamental right. You think Nnamdi Kanu should be in jail? These guys are not carrying guns and saying they want to come and break him out. It's not a prison break. They are peacefully protesting their views. So this is where I think the government is getting it wrong. That you don't agree with a view being protested does not give you the right to shut it down violently. Yeah? It's a view. Their views might be wrong, provided that view is not, they're trying to now forcefully, or they're trying to cause an insurrection or cause anarchy or break into the prison to break the man out. There's no basis for a forceful shutdown to the extent that live bullets were used, tear gas were used. Every citizen has a right to protest based on their view. It's like a family. The children should be free to express their views. It doesn't mean that they will take over from the father as the authority of the house. But the moment you are shutting down the views of the kids, the views of the wife, the views of everyone in the family, then you're getting yourself set up for something that will be worse in the future, which is what is happening here. There was no basis for that thing to blow into what it blew up into. That's what I'm trying to say here. There was no basis for that protest to blow up into that small war zone it blew into. Now, let's look at the arrest and the Kuje prison twist. Now, let's look at that. What really happened? Now, this is verified. So the lawyer, Ejimako, and the brother to Kanu, Emmanuel Kanu, and 10 others, they were arraigned today in a Kuje magistrate court. They were arrested, of course, yesterday, and they were arraigned today. They were remanded in the prison. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around why they were even arrested in the first place. Like, why, like, is there a more serious plan that they have behind the scene that we don't know, that the government can share with us, that maybe we can be able to relate with the purpose of their arrest, other than we want Kanu free, we want Kanu free, if you want Kanu free, you can't go in there and tell DSS to release him now. You cannot now. It's your opinion. They cannot do their protest. So now they were arrested and they were arraigned in a magistrate court in Kuje. They were remanded in Kuje prison pending bail hearing scheduled for Friday. So that means they're going to be in prison automatically for about 4 days for demanding what you desire, like a peaceful protest for what you desire. Like, you're not breaking down, you're not having guns and you want to go and break down the prison to get the guy out. You're only saying, oh, Nigerians want this and all that. I think any government that is afraid of protest, while I, while I understand that protest could get out of hand, yeah, but you can have a benchmark. You can have just like, okay, when they overstep the boundary to this level, But outrightly saying like people cannot protest because the case is in court, I don't know. Because I heard the PPRO, I heard the first PPRO saying that today, that because the case is in court, imagine one guy, one another guy even said that the lawyer should be penalized by the legal body, I mean by the Nigerian Bar Association, for participating in a protest, in a peaceful protest. Anyway, they were remanded in Kuje Prison, pending bail hearing scheduled for Friday. So, police reasons for arresting and remanding them, they allege that the protesters blocked roads, that they sang war songs and incited disturbance. The defense argued it was a peaceful demonstration and the arrest violated constitutional rights. So, war songs can lead to war. Like, what's the war songs? Zobu Zobu, Eyin Ba Eyin, Zobu. Which one now? They blocked roads. It's a protest, yeah. You could have just that energy. You could have used it to get them off the road. Like, so, when your lawyer go court for you and is trying to carry out a protest on your behalf, and the lawyer can't land in prison, joy, who can defend you now for this Nigeria? Can you guys let me know? Do you think this is justice or intimidation? Type justice if you think this is justice. Type intimidation if you think it's intimidation. I'd like to read in the comment section what you think. Is this justice or intimidation? Now, there are some things people don't know that I want to share with you guys. Some deeper insights based on public information. Amnesty International called the arrest an attempt to silence dissent. Yes, that's come out from Amnesty International, that this arrest of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer and his brother is an attempt to silence dissent. Now, some legal observers said this could set a dangerous precedent for jailing a lawyer for representing a client involved in a political case. Why? I mean, this is something that the government should not have taken. It's like a bait they should not have taken. Why would you jail a lawyer that is supposed to represent the client because he's protesting? Protesting is part of his constitutional right. It's not against the law. It's not breaking any law. Then the police sources told, there's a report by Vanguard that the police sources said that there's been a court order restricting protest in certain Abuja zones, an order the protest allegedly ignored. The protesters allegedly ignored. The protesters claim the ban itself is unconstitutional and a violation of freedom of assembly. What do you all guys think? What do you guys think? So both sides now, they have valid reasons according to them. Let's look at it. Is it okay to say, oh, I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria? Is it okay for you to say, oh, I can protest in Ikeja, but I can't protest in Victoria Island? Is it not the same, muzzling of people? So police, they waive court order. Protesters, they waive constitution. So, and constitution supersedes. If your court order is against the constitution, it's invalid. So who do we really support in this case? Who is really obeying the law? Because now the executive is using power because they are in power. They can control the police, they can control the soldiers, they can even influence the judiciary, as we have seen over and over in Nigeria. Because why would you say people can protest in a particular area and they can protest in a particular area? Or a particular zone, they can protest in another particular zone? I can't wrap my head around that. Because that's what the policeman, I saw the PPRO with on the channel's news interview earlier today, where it was saying that there has a court order that they should not step into some areas in Abuja while they can step into some areas in Abuja. And I'm like, dog, there's freedom of assembly. There's freedom to protest what you don't like, provided you are not breaking the law in any way in Nigeria. Freedom of association. So the same government will also still come and say, oh, any Nigerian can go anywhere in the world, they can anywhere in the country, they can live anywhere in the country, provided you're Nigerian. So you can live anywhere in the country, provided you're Nigerian, but you can't protest against the government in some areas. This reminds me of Animal Farm. How many of you have watched or read Animal Farm, where they said all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than the others? So whose paper is stronger? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Whose paper is stronger? The protesters are saying the constitution backs them to gather anywhere in Nigeria. That is a violation of their freedom of assembly. The police is waving court order saying that there are some areas restricted from protest in Abuja. And that's the basis for which uh, the lawyer and the brother to Kanu were arrested. Now let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the bigger picture. Let's look at the bigger picture. Protest, power, and the Nigerian system. Now, let's look at this. How peaceful, how many times have you seen over and over peaceful protest escalating into confrontation in this country? And most times because the government in power is intolerant or they are excesses. Many times. There was still one about 2 or 3 years ago at Ganifawo Emi Park. Yeah, that just grew. I think it was almost a Democracy Day protest or something that just overblew itself also, over and over. Peaceful protest that's supposed to just have people, talking, they just escalate into confrontations. Do you think is behind it? Can I share with you guys what I think it is? The last time peaceful protest was allowed was the Occupy Nigeria protest. And that protest was a major blow, a very major blow to Goodluck Jonathan's reputation. Yes. Yeah. It made him lose a lot of following. Now, I want to believe this is the reason why. Are you with me? This is the reason why these same people that protested then and saw what a peaceful protest can turn into and the power in peaceful protest, which is a good thing. If you're a good government, you shouldn't be afraid of protest. Seeing the power that a peaceful protest has, this is why these guys are against it. Knowing that this was one of the things they rode on to power. Yes, that's the real truth. They know, say this not the thing we then do. Jonathan that time. Say they do a strong thing. Give them all the freedom. Everybody gather for Ojota, gather for Abuja, gather, they bash the guy, call him useless, call him this. I mean, Jonathan has to be between Jonathan and Buhari, I don't know, but Jonathan has to be the most name called president in the world. Daft, stupid, slowpoke, all sorts of names. This government, try it now. Try go Twitter, go they talk anyhow about President Tinubu. So I think that's it. I think while it's a fear that is understood. I understand it. Like that this thing is out a power that you had and you used well. President Tinubu's campaign team, right from towards Buhari's election, very excellent in packaging and using media to package what they want to let people accept what they want. So now they are very careful, seeing somebody else, seeing Showore trying to now remodel what succeeded with them. They are being very careful. I mean, they are being very careful. So it's wrong in every way to me that you cannot gather peacefully to protest because the government in power is concerned about the reach you might have, in quotes now. They are concerned about the reach you might have, in quotes now. And this escalates into confrontations. So why does civic right remains a constant battle in Nigeria? Why does it remain a constant battle steadily that every time that there's a body trying to talk about their rights and stuff like that, it remains a constant battle every time in Nigeria? These are things for concern. And the symbolism of the Kuje Prison, this Kuje Prison, always holding several high-profile detainees steady. So the court of public opinion has been saying that the arrests are politically motivated. Others says the protest crossed the line. What do you think? I want to hear from you. What do you think? Some says that the arrests are politically motivated. Others says that the protest crossed the line. What do you think? I would like to hear from you tonight. I would like to know what you think about it. Do you think it's politically motivated? From some things we've heard from me now, do you think it's this arrest of Kanu's brother and his lawyer is politically motivated, or they were the ones that crossed the line, they crossed the boundary? Can I hear from you in the chat? I would love to read from you in the chat. Yes, I would love to read from you. What do you think? I'm waiting for you to type. I'd love to read from you. Can you just type in the chat what you think? Oh. Now, right from the days of the Caesars, Julius Caesar of Rome and all that, in every system, when truth wants to speak, power usually wants to silence it. But truth no they lie, and truth no they ever die, and truth will always come out. It's only the wait for time. If it take time, but truth will always come out. Even if power tries silence truth, truth would always find a way to come out in every system over the years, over centuries, over decades. Truth will always find a way to come out. Truth will always find a way to come out. It will only wait for a while. It might take a while. It might take some time, but truth will always find its way to come out. So I'm going to share with you some tweets. Everywhere has been, like I said, everywhere has been hot and fire. I'm going to share with you some public reactions and some tweets and some chats coming into us from the viewers right now. Someone said, I was there. I had to hide under a car and I took off. Immediately, the police vehicle sped by. This from someone on X. Someone is asking, says, should lawyers face risk for defending controversial clients? Should lawyers face risk for defending controversial clients? Somebody else here said, how would you have reacted if it was you that police start tear gassing as a peaceful protester? Some people are saying that they saw Showore running and all that. So someone is responding that if it's you and you are the one at the front line and police bring out gun and they start shooting up in the sky and start tear gassing, would you stand there and wait? Would you stand and wait? Said, how would you react when police start tear gassing peaceful protesters? That kind of a thing. Should lawyers face risk for defending controversial clients? Let's see, what do you guys think about these questions buzzing online? Like, there was a video of Shore taking off. Like, it's amazing that he's not in detention with these guys. On a lighter note now, what do you guys think? The organizer, the planner is not in detention. But the people that joined him, they are in detention. So there's a video of him taking off. Baba no waste time. So Warrior has been doing demonstrations since Unilag, since MK Abiola, 1993. So Baba gets stamina. He said, take off. You are saying they take off. That why they should wear a take off. Some are saying he's a coward. What do you guys think? They're saying he's a coward. He should have stayed back and all that. He should have faced the gun and all. I don't think Shawari is a coward. That he even initiated this move. I think it takes some cojones. Yeah, it takes some balls to initiate a move like this with the mood of things in this government, with this stand of no freedom of association that we're seeing and all that. It takes a lot of coolness and guts to even be the one to set something like this rolling. Yeah. So what do you guys think? What do you think? You think if you were there, would you have stayed or you'd have taken off too? If you were there, would you have stayed back or you would have taken off too? I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. Drop a chat, drop it in the chat. I would love to hear from you. What would you have done if this was you and you were faced with the guns, you were faced with the tear gas? Would you have stood your ground? And for the lawyer that is in prison right now, what are his options? What are his options? What do you think is happening right now? Can you drop in the chat? I'm just going to give us like a minute to quickly drop that in the chat. I'd like to hear from you very quickly. Let's do that. Let's do that right away. what would you have done? What would have been your call? What would have been your call? Would you have taken off, or you would have like, hey, I gotta wait, I gotta stay, I gotta see what's happening, I gotta face it straight up? What would you have done? And then, if you were the president or you were the authority, you were the executive, would you have allowed this peaceful protest, or you would have labeled it a public disturbance? Because that's what's happening right now. The presidency is labeling the protest a public disturbance. So what do you think it is? What you saw in Abuja when the whole thing started? Because it now became like almost like it's the police that now turned into a disturbance. Like they were the ones now disturbing publicly. I'll be waiting, I think. Because they are calling it a public disturbance. Meanwhile, the organizers are saying it's a peaceful protest. In protests, there will be traffic now. There will be there can be some level of traffic. I know. So if you think, the way I see this, if we think these guys are just being considering a public nuisance, wouldn't it have been more powerful if you just left them to just gather 6 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them for 2 days, 3 days? Then everybody will now see that really everyone believes that this legal process that Nnamdi Kanu is going through, they believe that, okay, it's the right thing. Yeah, that's really how to test your popularity in the public space. Allow them do the peaceful protest and see whether it will get mileage and support or not. If it doesn't, that means the government is doing a great work with what they are doing with the case. If it gets the mileage, then that means the government is not doing a great work. So I shared earlier, you should go back and check if you're just joining. I shared why the government is actually muzzling this protest, because they've been a beneficiary of such a protest. Occupy Nigeria. They've been a beneficiary. So they know the power. All of them, Buhari, everyone, they were there. They were there at Maryland, at Ojota. They were there. Thousands gathered everywhere. They've seen when the youth come together, when there was an entered protest, they've seen what can be achieved. So whether you are speaking the truth or you are speaking lie, they don't want you to get to that level. That's actually the coco.com. They don't want it to even get to the level where it will catch that mileage that they'll be under threat, or there'll be any form of security or any form of insurrection, or they don't want it to get to that level. So peaceful protest, too, public disturbance, government does not want any of it. And the truth is that for some of the people that are speaking against the government now, if you were the one in power, considering what you've seen, like the NSAS, when people started robbing stores, looting and all that, just to give you the balanced perspective now, any government that saw what happened during NSAS protest and how places were looted, how people were killed on the aftermath of the October 20th attack on the protesters, which was a terrible thing, by the way. The aftermath, the reaction was worse, because even people that were not the police or the military that attacked, they were not the ones that thugs, hoodlums were looting. Like people we don't really love ourselves. Like the moment there's no security in place, there's no security apparatus in place. There was a curfew. Everything just went haywire. Estates where people came into estates to rob people in their houses. As if these are the government that were messing us up, or they were the ENSAS coordinators. So any government that has seen that is careful to let that repeat itself, to let the country get to a point where there's no security system in place and all that. So not to defend the authority, that is their fear. Me, I feel some of these things occupy Nigeria's success and the negative effect aftermath of the NSAS protest. Nobody wants to. They don't want anything that will dwindle their influence or cause security issues in the country. Oh, sorry about that. My power just went up, but it's gonna come back on very shortly. It's gonna come back on very shortly. Please, can you quickly undo that? So the Kanu protest, I'll just walk with the darkness now. Can you undo that quickly? Your pace is slow. Please make the power come on quickly, please. Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to go off. I'm just going to stay until the power. Just in about 2 minutes, it should be back on. Yeah. So yeah, and that's part of it. That's part of it. Like I've had to power myself for the last 48 hours. Yeah, that's part of the issues in the system. This part of the issues in the system. Like at times, I really wonder those that cannot afford maybe the solar system, solar powering, or generators and all that. How do they? So someone that in the last 48 hours that I've said I've had to power myself, someone that does not cannot afford it. How have they been surviving? How have they been surviving? In the darkness, in the heat? How have they been surviving? How have they been surviving? So it's just a very uh, it's a situation we find ourselves in Nigeria, and the government needs to be more intentional about the people. So if I come out tomorrow now after what I just faced on YouTube now, and I say protest against uh, poor electricity, they will say I can't protest. No, if you don't want me to protest, fix the electricity. If you don't want the people to protest that release Nnamdi Kanu, follow the orders that the courts have given. Follow the orders that the courts have given. It's simple as that. It's simple as that. So this Kanu protest story, I like it because different tribes came into it. So it shows that we're actually getting more united in Nigeria. I like that fact that everybody from across all religions came together to push this protest. And even online, there's no division. There's a lot of support for Showore. Uh, but seeing the lawyer go to prison over this, it just means I mean, the law now needs a lawyer. On a lighter note, the law needs a lawyer. I'll bring it to wrap with this, huh? That Showore ran or that he did not stay when they were firing shots does not mean lack of courage. You fight another deal. It does not in any way mean lack of courage. It means that the guy is standing for the truth and he knows the people he's dealing with. Even Jesus. Hey, there were times they wanted to arrest Jesus. The same Jesus that said, I am he, when he was actually time. There were times they wanted to arrest him that he took off. It's wisdom. Freedom is not cheap, but it requires sense. So the guy used sense. I think it's now he's out here. He can still fight for those that have been arrested. He can still stand. He can speak. It makes a lot of sense that he took off. Really, I want to believe so that it makes a lot of sense that the guy strategically took off. A lot of sense. Yeah, I hope this live has really been informative for you. So where I stand with this is this: with the government, stop confusing peaceful protest with public disturbance. It is not. It's your fears. It's your fears and your worries that are pushing you. You're afraid of what the people could do if they know their power. Yes, the government is afraid of what we can do if we know what is possible. Peaceful protest is not a public disturbance. So if there was anybody that disturbed the peace in the videos I saw, it's the government, it's the police, it's the legal representatives of the government. They were the ones scattering tear gas and all that. There's nothing wrong. You guys just saw power go out on me now. I said I've not had power for 48 hours. There's nothing wrong if I go to Abuja and I go to the Ministry of Power and I say, give us electricity, give us electricity. And I announce it and I say, everyone that is tired of this NEPA issue and all that, they should give us sustained electricity despite all the bills we pay. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't tell me that it has to be in one area or not in another area. There's nothing wrong with it. But the fear of what is possible, if you understand that power we have, that's exactly the issue with the government. All right. I want to believe this live has been interesting. You've enjoyed it. Please share, drop a comment for me, like, share with your family and friends, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Stadium TV. I would really love you to be part of the family. I will do this every night, weekdays, every night. And of course, we always discuss trending issues from a faith perspective, from a positive values perspective and from how we all can learn and become better people from that perspective. Please subscribe and watch out for the new series, the skits, the new series of skits that's going to be dropping on this channel very soon. I have some amazing shorts that you can also watch and several lives that we've had in the last couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and so on. My name is Rashid. This is Stay Them TV. Drop a love, drop a like for me. I will definitely respond to your comment. Comment on the video when it comes up on the channel, this live. Till I see you tomorrow evening on another live. God bless you. Bye now.